when the president of France, Macron, says, I talk to Bazoum, the president of Niger, every day. Can you believe it? He says so. And that I'll only listen to Bazoum, my ambassador will only leave Niamey when Bazoum says so. The people of Niger mean nothing. It is their acolyte, their puppet that tells them what to do. That is how arrogance has now taken root in French diplomacy. And France is a metaphor for most of Europe. Irritating the West? Yes. We are irritating them. Will they go away easily? No. And you can see it in the arrogance of the French president. The French president says, without France, there is no Niger. Without France, there is no Burkina Faso. Without France, there is no Guinea. Without France, there is no Chad. Without France, there is no La Côte d'Ivoire. Without France, there is no Benin. Without France, there is no Togo. Without France, there is no Senegal. That is arrogance in the 21st century. That is how arrogant the individual is. And the time is now to tell him his goose is cooked, because Africans have woken up, the scales have fallen off our eyes, and the wax has melted off our ears. Is not going to be easy, because it is still true that power springs from the barrel of the gun. That is the basis of European arrogance. They are arrogant because they have the nuclear bomb. That is all. Beyond that, there is no basis for arrogance. They know that, oh, they can threaten us with fire and brimstone. But how many of us will they kill? In the billions? So the truth is that we are saying in Africa that we want to take charge of our resources. Are we isolating ourselves from the world? No. We say we want to trade with Europe. We want to trade with Germany. We want to trade with the Soviet Union. We want to trade with the United States of America, but from a standpoint of mutual respect, a symbiotic relationship, not a parasitic relationship. And that is why I hear Traore saying in Burkina Faso, you want uranium? Come and build the factory in Ouagadougou. You want to do industry? Come and do it in Niamey. You want to build an agricultural enterprise? Come and do it in Conakry. This is what I hear them say, which is reasonable.
Africa.
That at an individual level I hate most are these summits where 54 African leaders are summoned to St. Petersburg, where they are summoned to Beijing, they are summoned to London, they are summoned to Brussels, they are summoned to New Delhi, they are summoned to Beijing. We must have respect for ourselves. If African leaders are meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, is it not easier and cheaper for Vladimir Putin to attend the meeting? Is it not cheaper for Joe Biden to attend the meeting? It is not easier for the Prime Minister of Japan to attend the meeting, or the President of China. But as I've said before, if you behave like a banana, you will be eaten by monkeys. And for a long time, African politicians behave as if they were bananas. They behave as if they are weak, and they are treated like you treat weak people. So the time is now to stop attending these meetings to which we are summoned and given fake photo opportunities and 21-gun salutes. Let us tell them, you visitors in Africa, we have 54 of us. Why do we fly 54 private jets or whatever number of jets they are? Fly one private jet is even cheaper for you, and meet us on our home turf. The time is now for Africa to say with their mouths what they believe in their hearts, and to demonstrate to the world that they are not to be treated like little children. I read a book as a young boy, Gulliver and the Lilliputians. And the Lilliputians were little ones, and Gulliver was the giant. Africa is no longer Lilliputian or Lilliputs. So I look forward to that day when Africans will really demonstrate that we are reading from the same page, the page of unity. And lastly, you asked about geopolitics. You know, this idea that there is a unipolar world After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1989, truly the United States of America became the hegemon. And America claims they are the leaders of the free world. Who appointed them to lead the free world? Who defines freedom? Who defines democracy? Which God gave them the right to tell us how to govern ourselves, but yet they have arrogated to themselves the monopoly of knowledge and wisdom. And my understanding is that countries should be allowed to run their affairs in the manner that is in the best interest of their people. There is no one-size-fits-all democracy. The Germans will make the claim that they are Democrats, and I do not begrudge them. They have their own system of government. The British will make the same claim. The Danes will make the same claim. But is their democracy in Denmark the same as the democracy in Germany? No, it is not. They are different, informed by history. But they don't want the conceptual West, at least those in political leadership, think that they have an obligation. In fact, not an obligation, a right to tell Africans, this is how we want you to govern yourselves. And somehow, the leaders, some of the so-called leaders who have been overthrown through military coups, actually behave in that way. Africa should look towards Africa through African institutions. The African Union brings together 54 nations recognized as such. Africa, under the aegis of the African Union, have Africa Agenda 2063. Africa has the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Africa is divided into 8 regions. Africa is working towards unity as contemplated and articulated in 1963. A strong and coordinated Africa will relate with the rest of the world in a much more fruitful relationship. And the danger now is that Africa is going through a stage of confusion and is being confused. And this is not the first time Africa has been confused. Post-independence in Africa, we had something which was led, and I supported it in those early days, the non-aligned movement, which was articulated at that time by Jawaharlal Nehru, Kwame Nkrumah, and of course, Gamal Abdel Nasser, Joseph Broz Tito, and President Sukarno of Indonesia. It was non-aligned movement and positive neutrality. That was allowed to die. Today, we have the BRICS,